Good morning, Stepsy. A cold winter morning in the beginning of March, I took off with a plan of sailing to some Swedish islands. I have been planning this trip for months as a winter trip. I was actually ready to head off a couple of times, but this winter have been hard on us. Freezing temperatures with ice, snowstorms, and the worst, storm winds. Although I have sailed from Denmark to Sweden quite a few times, and last year I enjoyed sailing the West Coast archipelago all the way up to the Norwegian border, there were some islands just off the city of Gothenburg that I really wanted to visit. And I wanted to do it now during the winter. You see, during the summertime, the Swedish archipelago is heavily populated by both tourists and boats. And the biggest joy I take from my sailing adventures is when I have more or less everything to myself. In that way, I can go easy and in a slow pace. Plenty of space in the waterways, not having to worry about other pleasure boats around, enter empty harbors, and lay for the evening. Hiking around on the islands will also be less populated. There was a pretty good weather window and I had almost 2 weeks available before I had to be back at work again. The first leg was from my home harbor, Hals, and up to Læsø Island at the northern little town Østerby. A trip of about 43 nautical miles, which will take me approximately 9 hours. From there, it will be only another 27 or so nautical miles to the Swedish island that I was planning to land on. This leg went uneventfully with good winds in grey weather. I reached the island in a light drizzle. After a good night's sleep, I got up early next morning. The weather was beautiful and I made my way out from the harbor just before sunrise. I put one reef on the mainsail and took off for the next leg to cross the Kattegat Sea towards Sweden. At least that was the plan. I was full with expectations and anticipations of this trip and what was waiting for me on the other side of the upcoming days. Watching the sun coming up on my starboard, I was filled with joy. I managed to trim the sails so the boat was steering itself without the need of the tiller pilot. The seas were choppy and the wind was coming from the direction I wanted to go. I kept pointing north instead of northeast. Then the seas got bigger and the boat was heeling more to port. I began to feel seasick. But the worst was that all of a sudden I got very tired. And after a tug, in an effort to get the boat back on course, I took the wise decision to return back to the harbor. There was no need to keep pushing. The 6 hours trip would have turned to 12 hours or even more, making my landfall to Sweden in darkness and totally dead tired. A cocktail for a disaster. Yeah, now I have been here on the island for a couple of days after my attempt to sail to Sweden. It didn't work due to the headwinds and the waves. Yeah, it has been a couple of nice, cozy days here on the island. I spent most of the time actually in the boat. It was really nice. And tomorrow it looks like I should be able to sail off to Sweden tomorrow. And I'm gonna have to leave very early in the morning if I want to take advantage of the light winds around 8-10 knots, which is early in the morning, like 6 o'clock, 6:30 probably I will leave. And but it's only for the first couple of hours, and then the wind, I will be heading northeast, and the winds will be from east-southeast. So I don't know how much I will be able to use these winds. If not, I will be motoring, but I believe if I leave early, like 6 o'clock or something, I should be able to do some sailing. And the trip is around 27 nautical miles. It should take me around 6 hours. Maybe a little less, but I may not be able to be going 5 knots. So, yeah, and it looks like it's gonna be sunshine tomorrow. So that's another good thing. So I'm looking forward. And it looks like, because I've been looking for the weather forecast and the winds ahead, it looks like tomorrow is Thursday. It looks like I should stay there until Tuesday. I should start heading back. Because I have to go to work the weekend after. So in order to make it home. And that's fine. I have a couple of islands, maybe 3 islands I will visit while there. We'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to take off tomorrow. Although it was a bit of a disappointment to have to turn back, I didn't let this incident put me down. In the contrary, I've chosen to see it from the positive side. I was glad that, even though under the circumstances, I was able to take the right decision and turn back. Such a decision I never had to take before in all the years I sail. It is in times like this when one is really challenged. And if you're still able to take the right decision with a clear mind, then those are the times that make you become a better sailor. Tomorrow is another day where I look forward to point Stepsy's bow towards Sweden. I love making those videos and sharing with you my adventures. If you have enjoyed this episode, please like, leave a comment and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And stay in tune for the upcoming videos from my winter sailing to Sweden. Thank you so much for watching. The weather is fantastic here. There's a lighthouse up there. Cheers. Welcome to Sweden.